under the original link on Facebook. So maybe somebody else will see that. I don't know. Hopefully other people, if they're interested, don't mind me just moving around here. Hopefully other people, if they're interested, will be able to find it. So I really wanted to talk about the equinox. Well, hello, Melissa. Hello. Were you on the other one? Oh my gosh, if you were, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. I realized though, I mean, I knew this before, it's Mercury retrograde. So this is probably like the worst time ever to attempt to do this, but whatever. Here we are. I appreciate your patience. So I wanted to talk about the equinox and really expand on some of the things that came through in the last reading that I posted, the pre-recorded reading, talking about the, oh, okay, good. Well, good, because you missed like 20 minutes of me going, no, a black screen of it just spinning and spinning because I couldn't get the original one to open. So, yeah, I wanted to expand on some of the things about it that were in that reading. And there are some things that I've been experiencing, and I've talked to a couple of people recently that they've been experiencing too, that feel like they're very much connected to this. And so in case you haven't seen that video, in the reading, what came through is the time between the eclipses. So the first one was the 12th of March. The second one is going to be on the 29th. And smack dab in the middle, we have the equinox, which is tomorrow. So, well, maybe not smack in the middle, but it's close enough. The energies in this window, they called it the energetic space of the eclipses, was referred to as like a crucible of transmutation, like transmuting all of these aspects and the things that we've learned, and the elevation of synchronicities, and so some of the things that feel really relevant as we're moving into Aries season starting tomorrow with the equinox and what it represents. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling more strongly this year than ever before that the new year didn't actually start, and it starts tomorrow. I mean, I had awareness of that, that, the zodiac begins with Aries, and that doesn't begin until the spring equinox. It makes sense for the new year to actually begin in spring, although that doesn't account for our friends in the southern hemisphere. But that being said, the astrological new year does begin tomorrow. I think the equinox is tomorrow morning early, like 4:30 a.m. maybe Eastern time. And with that, of course, we have a balancing, bringing things into balance as we move into this new season of ourselves, the new season beginning on Earth and throughout nature. This one is, we're experiencing things that have never been experienced before. We're here at a very critical time in history of humanity and of the earth, and things are changing so rapidly. And so many of us have gone through the healing process, still in it. I mean, we never finish it completely. But it's a spiral, right? It continues we move and move to higher frequencies through that healing process and the information, the wisdom that we integrate through that. So as we're moving to Aries season and the beginning of this new year, we have experienced things we haven't experienced before. We have opportunities that are coming online for us that really, in many cases for us as individuals, could be beyond what we've imagined previously. Because a lot of times when, unless we've worked to shift and done a lot of work to shift our thought forms around our beliefs about our own potential and the potential available to us in humanity, in some degree, we're always we're taking what we know from past experiences and creating our dreams around that, right? Um, But as we've gone through a lot of this transformational process over the last couple of years, building up to this year and even extending into the next couple of years, things are going to start to unfold because the word I kept getting as I was making notes about this is we're stripped down. Like there are things that, and not in a negative way, but in a very positive way, a very renewal type of way. And so some of the things that where some of the themes around this particular period, again, between the eclipses, but especially around the equinox, is being in hermit mode or feeling like you're separate or kind of isolated, and that being a state of being that feels very meaningful, that you're guided to enter into or remain in this state of hermiting. And there's a reason for that. Of course, there's always a reason when we're called to do different things and to take care of ourselves in different ways. But one of the critical parts of this separation is through this stripping down, we've been releasing ourselves from different anchors, which are, belief systems, thought forms, but they're also illusions, right? And some of those illusions are, we're constantly in relationship with everything around us, right? So when we talk about relationships, it's not just relationships with people, but it's relationships with our environment, it's relationships with objects, it's relationships with, anything we ingest, anything that we express. It's all those things. So with this kind of this stripping down, we're being released or releasing the anchors that kept us tied into the past. So for you guys in particular, you'll understand too where that comes in as connected to the 222 meditation we did about closing the book on those ancestral wounds, right? Releasing the anchor of that, releasing those stories from our mental space and from our energetic space. And so that's part of that stripping down to this being birthed anew. And I think that analogy or metaphor came through in that reading too, that kind of being a rebirth through the process. So this stripped down version allows us to view relationships, and again, all relationships, from a new vantage point. I'm looking at notes if I look down, so sorry. But from that new vantage point, it's a place that we may not have been able, we haven't been able to reach previously because there are things that we've moved to this higher level perspective. Our frequency is raised. The vibrations that we are aligning with, what feels to be in coherence with us as individuals, has shifted. And so because of that, our vision has changed too. In some ways, that's literal. In other ways, that is energetic, and it speaks to our gifts elevating, our gifts being revealed, actually having a knowing or a visual comprehension of things that we weren't seeing before. But the other part of this is in regards to like our physical human reality. We're able to see these relationships more clearly. We're able to see the variation between the quantum level connection, kind of from human terms, it's what's hidden because it's the energetic level. It's what has been pre-paved through the intention on an energetic level. And so we're seeing the variation between that, so that underlying intention and what's going on in the quantum field, and what is being represented in the physical. And what we may find, now I know I'm experiencing this, but what you may find is things are being revealed, especially as we move towards the eclipse. Things are really going to be, and Uranus is really, really active. I can't remember. There's some sort of transit or aspect with Uranus coming up soon. So it's these things, the variation again. So it's showing you where it's out of alignment. Like, just to speak in more tangible terms, where if we're speaking about an individual, so a person in your life, you may notice that with a higher level of clarity than you did previously. It may be something that your intuition was saying, like, oh, something doesn't feel right here. And then with this equinox and coming into this balanced, kind of stripped down form of ourselves, we're able to pinpoint or see with clarity, oh, they're treating me this way, like publicly, right, in the physical realm. Or maybe they're treating me this way publicly, but they're treating me a totally different way in private, or there are things in private that are some red flags or that speak to that underlying intention, the energy that they are putting into the relationship, or maybe you're sensing the energy that they are actually uh, feeling in that relationship with you. I hope that makes sense. Seeing that variation between the two is going to be something that is going to come from this equinox, but again, through the eclipses. So giving us the opportunity to see from the observer's standpoint, the equinox, again, the benefit that the equinox is bringing us is that energetic rebalancing. And it is perfectly aligned again with the Mercury retrograde, because although it can make technology difficult, it is all about the words, right? The rebalancing, reorganizing, restructuring. You might have to do some rescheduling. I had to reschedule kind of the live, reevaluation, reflection, reviewing, all of those words. And so working with Mercury retrograde to allow ourselves to be rebalanced by these cosmic influences, it brings us that state of balance. One of the beauties of that is it brings us, or helps bring us, to a place of neutrality as well. And when we're in neutrality, we are able to actually see the higher perspective from a place of being able to see all aspects. We're able to see the light aspect as in equal measure with the dark aspect of whatever situation, or, oh, my nose, it's just whatever we're talking about. So that also allows us to then see more clearly, because we're coming from a higher perspective. So literally, when you're up higher, you can see farther, right? But also, it's as if when we get to that higher perspective, it dissipates any sort of cloud cover that may have kept us in a state of uncertainty or even illusion around those subjects. It's important to stay in our integrity and our authenticity during this time. Another reason for being in this separation mode or hermit mode is, well, because everybody's going through this rebalancing, right? So part of it too is that it allows everyone the space to then step forward in their new energetic form almost. There is a greater visibility of the separation between those who are moving towards or already in 5D and those who are staying firmly anchored in the 3D. And so you're going to notice that more and more throughout the year. But I think moving to this higher perspective, being at that observer's level, is definitely going to amplify that sort of experience for you. It may make things just weird. You probably have some weird situations and noticing things on a different level. And part of that too is this, as we're stripping down and removing those masks and those layers that kept us in a state of restriction or disillusionment, disempowerment, a lack of self-trust, a lack of self-confidence, even as we are removed from those states, as those states are removed from us, then we are naturally becoming more sensitive to energies. We're feeling more clearly, we're feeling more fully, and it's a beautiful, amazing, wonderful thing. And it helps in the revealing of our gifts too, as individuals. At the same time, it makes us more sensitive. We're more sensitive, and so we're more sensitive. So part of this separation and hermiting is to allow us to, again, here's that, like the word, right? Recalibrate. And that was in that reading on Friday too, I believe. The recalibrating our let's see, kind of recalibrating. It's not really a reset to our system, but it is a recalibration because we've changed, we've shifted. And so that sort of separation period allows us to adjust to the new for us, the new version of ourselves. So the staying in integrity and in authenticity, we're also all of these energies working together also help to move things along a whole lot faster than they might have in the past. So our ability to manifest is amplified as well. And again, that comes from that stripped down version of ourselves. We don't have the restrictions that we had. We don't have not that, I mean, some of us might not ever remove the negative thought forms completely from the mental space, but that's okay. To remove what you have has created space for greater levels of manifestation. But that does require us to be authentic. It requires us to be in integrity to who we are and stay true to that. Because if we're not, then we're starting as a collective, a brand new cycle. And the last thing we want to do is lose what we've gained from all the healing work that's been done, right? So moving into this cycle, now is not the time to doubt yourself. Now is not the time to doubt yourself. Now is not the time to re-enter into situations that you are very aware of now, or even beginning to get confirmation of now, that kept you restricted, that diminished you in some way, that disempowered you in some way. Now is not the time to do that. So taking advantage of this period of separation or hermiting is I would say it's really, really important. If you're feeling that way, if you're feeling guided to do that, then definitely take advantage of it, because again, there's a reason for it. It's making space for you to adjust to the new you and to adjust to the energies as they shift too. Moving into Aries season this year is, I think we are going to feel a distinct shift. And so it helps to be ready. I'm just talking and talking. Do you guys have any questions? If you have a question or something you want to share, throw it out in the chat. I would love to read it. Let's see. Yeah, so the weird experiences as you're I think I kind of touched on this, but getting to know these new gifts and things that are being this new level of sensitivity that you have. And it goes back to what I mentioned about the manifestation as well. So allowing yourself to adjust to this and to learn it and to learn how to utilize it, to learn its signs and its signals. Um, because we want to give ourselves the necessary space and time to learn to love it and to not see it as a negative. Again, we're at such a critical time in our ascension and our growth that um not to put additional pressure on any of us because none of us need that. It's not about the pressure, it's just about awareness. It is critical because we have this amazing opportunity to utilize all we've done and all we've learned. And so it's to lean on that with the understanding that there is so much out there attempting to take us away from it. Well, I wouldn't say attempting to take us away from it, but learning to stay quiet. I hear you. Thank you for sharing that, Melissa. Yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Um, yeah, I wouldn't say attempting to take that from us, but there's the opportunity for it to take it from us. I mean, there are those, I mean, let's be real. There are those that are going to stay anchored in the 3D. That's just the way it is at this stage of the game. And because they are, I have a fan on down here. I hope you can't hear the fan because it's kind of stuffy upstairs in my office. So that's, yeah, I think the fan might be blowing on it. That's funny. Yeah. Plants, man, you can't have anybody wants spider plants. I got babies out the wazoo. Okay, that's another story, but um anyway. Thank you. It's one of my favorites. Going the wrong way. There it is. It's a little money tree. I have a giant one down in my dining room. It is huge, huge, huge. I am hoping it's not hitting the end of its lifespan though, because yeah, I've had it for 6 years now, going on 7. Anyway, let's see. I get distracted so easily. I'm sorry. I can go off on a tangent and squirrel like nobody's business. What was I talking about? Oh, so the people that are going to be locked into the 3D, at least for now, they're attached to it and they're feeding it. And so that maintains it, right? So they are feeding those structures and those systems. And so by doing that, although moving into the higher frequencies and everything, and as we move through ascension, there are so many of us that are putting different energies out there that are helping to shift and change having everything really. However, those older structures, the structures that are very much associated with or created by the 3D, because those are going to fight to remain in place, right? The people who are attached to them are going to do things to fight to keep those in place. I don't necessarily mean literal fighting, but you know what I mean. They're going to do things to enforce those, to add strength to them even. And so that, to those of us who are ascending, those actions and those expressions can be very, very triggering in some ways too. Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, it can be very triggering. I say all of this massive rambling to say, don't let that stuff get you out of your vibe. That's just the easiest way to say it. So and that's another reason for this separation and the hermiting too, like turning off the news, stepping out of those conversations, not allowing anything to impact, there goes the throat chakra, not allowing anything to impact your your elevation, your growth, and that stripping down process that allows you to be reborn. Because a lot of those conversations, they operate on that 3D level. And so part of this elevation in our perspective is to allow us to be able to see both sides of those conversations, because that's really what happens in the 5D. When we get to the 5D and even the higher 4D as well, we're able to see both perspectives. There is a point where I know this might be triggering when I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. There comes a point when there's no right or wrong. And it's because at some point in our ascension, we begin to recognize that everything is an expression of love. It's a matter of whether it's a higher expression of love or a higher vibrational expression of love or a lower vibrational of love. But everything is an expression of love on some form. So those conversations that are super triggering or that get us into states that take us out of balance, that take us out of our center, that take us out of our empowerment and our sovereignty and our trust and our knowing that ultimately we are the creator of our own reality, that no one else has the power to do that unless we give it over to them. And so a lot of those conversations, at the base of them is the intention, not conscious, but the intention or the energy of taking away one's power. And so your power is only, again, this might be triggering, but your power is only taken away when we hand it over. And that can be tough when we look back on our lives and recognize where we have handed over our power. I mean, I certainly know that I've done it a lot, a lot. And, but in the crucible that we're in, it allows these things to bubble up, like the heat of it. Oh, that was another thing. Like one of the things that we may be feeling during this time is literal heat. And it's not hot flashes. I'm past that stage. Like it is the heat of the transmutation that's actually going on within our energetic bodies and therefore our physical bodies. And so with that heat and the transmutation, that these things bubble up, right? And these things that we're not necessarily meant to analyze what we're releasing or what we're feeling, but just to allow it, to feel it as it comes up and love it and allow it to be released and not attach. Because the tricky part of when we're in this releasing process, the tricky part with the healing process is there is a point at times in understanding, of course, what we're healing and what we're releasing, but not to the point that we're attaching to that story, because now we're not releasing. We're just rewriting that, whatever that wound was that we're working on. We're just rewriting it into our story again. So many of us have gotten to a point now where the things that we're releasing are so deep and they're so ancient, even the ancestral wounds. I linked that meditation that we did on 222 at the end of the video that I'm referencing that I put on this channel on Friday. If that speaks to you, go and do that again before the solar eclipse on March 29th. Don't do it on the solar eclipse. You want to do it at least a day before, maybe a couple of days. Okay. Because when we hit the solar eclipse, that's new. And so we want the integration and releasing, that's going to be wrapping up before that point. So I don't know where I was going with this now. Now I'm lost. It was like, and it's gone. What was I saying? Oh, the heat, the crucible. So yeah, these things are bubbling up for us to just allow it to be released, because this is part of that stripping down process, right? The other thing that came through in that reading was the word reduction. Yeah, the fire. Exactly. Sitting by a fire might be really, really helpful in this time too. Like if you're feeling that, you might not want to do it when you're feeling the heat internally, because it gets really, really fiery. But it would give you a tangible thing to release what you need to release into, and allow it to transmute outside of you as well. You can also surround yourself in the violet flame. Or even if you recognize a part of your body where you feel heat, surround that in the violet flame and allow that to assist you in the transmutation process to help move it along. Water, staying hydrated, like seriously hydrated. You may have to up your hydration over this period. I know that I've really felt that. Let's see, another thing that came through in that reading was being really, green tea. That was another thing that was interesting. But that also is kind of a, helps to release toxins and things like that. So those are things that might help if you guys are feeling these sort of symptomy things. Let's see, what else was I going to tell you? Oh, having having weird experiences. It's associated with the gifts coming online, but as your frequency is rising too, you're going to start to have more evidence of your multidimensionality. And so, many of us have had the experiences of astral travel during our dreams, or maybe even lucid dreams, but the lines between those are going to blur, if not totally disappear. So having awareness, I was talking with another friend the other day, and she was having this experience too of having a dream, but having awareness in the dream that you're having a dream. So it's almost like watching yourself in a movie, but being in a dream, but recognizing you're in a dream. And also then recognizing when you wake up that it wasn't really a dream. And you might recognize that in the dream, that it's actually like astral travel and not necessarily, and not necessarily a dream even. So, that blurring or removal of those lines, I think is going to be something that we're going to continue to experience. I mean, it goes along with the increasing in our frequency, the removal of those attachments that keep us masked in some sort of way, and getting to our core frequency and being in that alignment with our higher self too. Those are all things that are happening for us as we are moving through the ascension process. And this is a really critical time in that. I mean, they're all very important times, but as we move further and further into this process, it keeps intensifying and it's not easy though. I think it's important to acknowledge that this stuff is not easy. This is not for the faint of heart. Like, you don't sign on to go through this process and to do the ancestral healing and generational healing and look deeply at your own patterns of behavior, your own patterns of thoughts, and all that, all take responsibility for all of your choices. You don't sign on for that and not have a lot of courage and determination and willpower even, and persistence and resilience. So I it's important to celebrate yourself in that too, and to acknowledge just how far you've come, because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. And it's not just for yourselves either. I mean, ultimately, that is the primary focus, as it should be. But the other part of that is to acknowledge how important it is for the collective that you're doing that. Water break. Because my throat's saying, oh gosh, I hope I'm not going to start coughing. No, it's not what? Oh, it's not easy. No, it's not. Yeah. Feel like you're being hit. Yeah. Pulled apart or hit by a truck. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. And everybody's, the other thing is everybody's moving through this at different speeds too. Like some people have been like shot out of a rocket or out of a shot out of a cannon over the last 6 months. And for other people, it's been like a gradual thing since like 2012, 2015, even, or 2018, with probably, an increasing speed or rate over the last year or two. But there's like a wave of people that have really been on an accelerated path. And that has its own challenges for sure. For sure. Does anybody have any questions? Canon. Yeah. Yeah, I was and I was thinking of you specifically. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Making sure anybody has. No? I'm going to hang on just a second. Let me look at this real quick. No. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that the other one wasn't working too. Oh, thank you for being here. When does the pain stop? You feel on fire right now? I would say that should get better in April. I know that's still a little ways off. It might. I'm hoping, Melissa, that gets better in Aries season, but I'm kind of feeling Taurus because the fire of Aries season might bring up some things as well. But overall, it feels, I'm sorry. Are you working with the violet flame to help release some things? Try that. Try that. And especially, did I say this earlier? Now I can't remember. Like, oh yeah, if you have specific places where you have discomfort or heat, like visualize the violet flame being around that and doing its work to help release it and transmute whatever blockages. Water like baths and showers. Yeah, baths would be good. Yeah. But with the violet flame, I can send you some stuff on that too. You're welcome. You're welcome. It really is it's helped me when I've used the violet flame. And even with like emotional things, if you have emotional things that are associated with the pain, it can help with the transmutation of that as well. So Do you guys have any other questions? Or do you want me to do the light language activation? Are you ready for that, or shall we talk some more? Oh, I've been talking for, has it been that long? I guess it has been that long. I can talk. It's funny though, y'all know if I'm like in a social situation, I don't talk that much, but I get on here and start. mm, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah. Earth too. I'm kind of feeling earth for the emotions too. Like allowing the earth to help you transmute it too. Just so the emotions don't get like I know you probably mean, I think you're meaning the air in a different way that I'm about to say, but I feel like I kind of need to say it anyway. But what was I going to say? So with the air energy, just so that the air doesn't connect the emotions too much into the mental space. Does that make sense? The thought space? Yeah. That'll be perfect. Gardening will be perfect. Yeah. Getting your hands in the dirt, that'll help a lot. And I'm seeing like your feet in the dirt. Go somewhere and cover your feet in dirt. I do for like energy clearing, I do a salt scrub even in the shower regularly. And one of the things that I do with it is I scrub the bottom of my feet. And I find that helps me to release energies a lot too, whether it's, just energies I've picked up through the day, or if it's energies that that are something I'm processing personally, if that makes sense. So, but you probably do that in the bath. So, yeah. All right. You guys want to do some light language? So, all right. All right. We'll do that. Okay. So we're going to, let's settle in a little bit first. Y'all are probably settled in. I'm going to settle in a little bit. All right. Okay. So let's take a couple of deep breaths together, and then I'm asking for a light language transmission to help assist us in processing what we need to process, releasing what we need to release, and to support our physical bodies through this transmutation and what feels like a very deep tissue healing on a level of our DNA, our cellular memory level. Yeah, cellular memories. That feels very, yeah. So that's going to be our intention, is for assisting in the healing and the transmutation and then releasing of cellular memories that might be causing any pain or heat through restriction, wounding, and ancient trauma and disempowerment. Okay, so let's take a couple of deep breaths together. So breathing in through the nose And exhale out through the mouth. Again, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. And breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. And we'll begin the transmission. Ulorisiana Tunkararun Tungara Sinia Uka Sitia Isiatia Unurukatai Isia Ungadai Isikai Unugara Aya Ulu Ayat Nisia Rutaka Isikatai Tikatai. Isirukatai Nukdaruka Isikatongudai Isirukatai Isikaya. Isirukatai Nokado Ungada Sike Isika Ungada Isikata Isikadai Isirukatai Isikadai Unak Isikadai Ungada Ilurukadai Unga Isikarugada Ikada Isikadai Ungada Rukadai Imgrukadai Isikaya Kaya Toso Uto Ugadai Isikonungada Isikayatisi Ungada Ruktaya Ikadai Rukdaya Isikai Ungada Rukdinga Isikai Undra Sitia Isikalukadai Isikangodungadai Ungrasitia Esiata Isikunga Esiata Ungaruta Esiata Isiankuda Engada Okarugata Ungada Ilugata Isiata Ulugodai Isikaya Tisia Isiayatisi Mugaruda Isiayata Ungarutisia Angaya Sitia Asia Okarutia Isikayatia Unarositia Tisikaya Rukata Ingada Unga Sikatea Isikatai Isikatia. Thank you guys. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being here so much. You have no idea. Thank you. I thought I might be here by myself, which is okay too. It's okay too. But thank you guys. I am planning to do more of these, so keep an eye out, and I will do my best to figure out why scheduling it didn't work. I don't know. So I'm going to have to do a couple of tests. So, yeah, but keep an eye out. I'll be doing more of these. And since you guys are the local crew, Let me know your thoughts on, you are welcome. You are welcome. Let me know your thoughts on doing a meditation probably this Sunday, the 23rd. Kind of tossing between Saturday and Sunday. I'm kind of leaning towards Sunday, but if you guys want to message me and let me know what works for you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You are awesome. And I appreciate you so much. Like, truly, y'all have no idea. So much. So much. It means the world to me. So, yeah, let me know what you think, or if you're interested in doing a meditation this weekend. And if you are, what works for you as far as days. Yeah, I think that's it. And I'll be back. I'll be back. Thank you guys. You guys have a great, great night. I love you so much. Thank you.